So the whole point of the divination system is basically to rewrite the scenario into more rewarding and more dangerous form. And everybody else feels just a little bit railroaded.
I feel fucked actually, but yeah.
What about me?
Well, you get your plus,
You feel fucked.
you get your
You'll
plus,
make it.
you get your +1 saving throw for everything from
Oh,
now on.
thank you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really useful.
Yeah, it will.
Whatever
You know
thing
it
there
will.
tries to eat me.
Well, just this one set of 6-pack beasts.
Yeah.
So, so that's the deal. You now know. We have now sort of rejumped the scenario. I can only start with one promised reward, completely mundane threats and stuff, and one like monster or like weird thing. That's what I'm allowed to start with when I make up an adventure. For it to get weirder, either the magic user causes trouble by summoning demons or using one of the demon-oriented spells, or the cleric learns what's really going on.
Yeah. Actually, I summoned monster.
Wait, Eric, I want to know what you were saying. He was making an intriguing face, and I want to know what he had in mind.
I'm sorry. That's just my face. I'm sorry about that.
All right. Well, it was intriguing. So,
how different is this from the base Lamentations of the Flame Princess?
Cleric magic and magic in the clerical magic in Lamentations of the Flame Princess is dull as dirt, and I mean super fucking dull. I mean, he doesn't.
I know
like
Jim
clerics.
doesn't like it as well, right?
He doesn't like clerics. He doesn't know what they're doing in the game. He doesn't like the god stuff like Sean was asking about in the beginning. It just, the whole thing just bugs him, and he doesn't want them there. And so I chose to differ and said I can do stuff with clerics that'll make your magic users look like wimps. And so as written, divination is a 4th level cleric spell, and the cleric basically gains information regarding an area, building, area of a dungeon, or other similar place. It includes, in vague terms, a general idea of how powerful the creatures are, general amount of treasure present, what kind of resistance to attack is present, and the nature of it. The base chance for a correct divination is 60% plus 1 per caster level. If the roll fails, false information is delivered. Basically, it's a shitty chance to look into the notes, and he's not even supposed to give you specific information.
Mm-hmm.
So
I am the GM now.
Okay. Yeah, here he gets to be a bit of a GM, especially a particular sort of GM who can tell players what to do.
Yeah, exactly. So, I have a few.
If you want to play lawful characters, be ready to be on the side of the will of God. Damn it! You know,
I have like a list of at least 10 jokes.
You've got it as a destiny, and if the cleric divines the destiny that you have, that's where you're going, and you'll be good at it too.
And now you can see my character explaining to your character, Claudio, what's happening. That there's beasts hunting for you.
Yes,
and that we shall protect you.
Right, and not only that, but I mean, think of the rewards are so huge now, and and guess what? I mean, if the God wants us infected with leprosy, then we will. That's how it's going to be.
Yeah, the lawful character is basically requesting your agency to be removed.
What do you mean?
Well, I did not feel like that.
I'm not sure what you mean, Claudio.
Oh, you're not joking. Okay, sorry. Well, you said it in your own way, right? So you said it's like requesting to be railroaded in a way.
Right.
Right. So it's there is stuff that will happen to your character that you can't control that is just gonna happen, right? That's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can still choose what you're doing. So
Well, you can choose what you're doing, and maybe the cleric character.
Yeah,
likes
yeah,
it,
yeah, absolutely,
right?
absolutely. or the cleric.
Right. Hold on.
I can
just a
feel
moment.
my agency right now.
I'm not complaining about it, by the way. I
Right,
think
right.
it's interesting, but
Well, hold on. I just want to read this to you as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Lawful. The universe has an ultimate, irrefutable truth and a flawless, unchanging plan toward which all events inevitably march. As time moves on, all distraction and resistance to this plan falters until everything is in the perfect state forevermore without alteration of the possibility of possibilities. Those who are lawful in alignment are part of an inevitable destiny, but have no knowledge of what that destiny is and what their role will be in fulfilling it. So they are forever looking for signs and omens to show them their proper way. Now, that last bit is a little bit, I think, of legacy because other parts of the alignment section say you don't know what your alignment is and don't care.
Yeah.
But the point being that I read that and I said, well, let's make that rules.
That's a great idea, actually.
Right. Let's just do that. And how will they know? Well, when the cleric, asks.
Yep.
Right. Opens themselves up to the expression thereof. So
What?
So anyway, I'm still playing with a precise system. You don't really know how it goes until you actually roll your way through it. I can't say I like necessarily the way my little dice system worked, but
obviously.
I'll play with it. Right. Just want to kind of bump it into action. I first wrote a tree that perfectly paralleled the summon demon tree, the summon spell. But I realized that I needed it to be philosophically different, that it can't literally be the mirror of the chaotic processes of that spell. It has to be about different things and conducted in a different way, so that the randomized elements are always balanced by a chosen element. Right. For example, I might make it random which of the other player characters is going to be, targeted by the threats. Also, there's a mechanism. What I didn't like was my mechanism. I confused myself even trying to read it. There's a mechanism by which you would keep rolling D100 and just adding dangers, right? So he ended up with 2 dangers, the infection and the beasts. But there's a way for you to keep rolling, and basically, you're like praying to stop because it's just piling on more and more and more and more dangers into the situation. Greg was saying, I love this table because he was just looking at the way that the treasure was getting better and better.
Yeah.
But what he didn't know was that we also have this way of the dangers to just pile on and pile on and pile on and pile on. I mean, the will of God could be that all of you die horribly, right?
Yep.
I mean, there's no...
You know what? There's a saying in Turkish saying that Allah doesn't have a stick to punish.
Right.
It's a really abstract thing. Basically, he's saying that there are multiple ways that he can punish any people and doesn't have any stick, so he can use whatever he wants. So while he prays, he creates his stuff, and that shows us the dangers presented by God.
Right.
By Allah.
Right. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're being directed to defeat them or that you're destined to defeat
No.
them. Yeah, we'll see.
No.
It's kind of like you've touched the mind, the divine purpose, and now you're energized to just do what you will, or to do what you're going to do. And so, as we will discover, it may feel to you like you're making choices, but whatever. That's a philosophical question.
Right.
So there you go. That's where I'm at with this design at the moment. So you guys now suddenly discover that battered, bloodied, and traumatized as you are, that was just, you could have not cast divination and then hunted around and found a treasure that was pretty much as advertised, but it's just not very much because you're first level. You always have that option to gag the cleric and sit on them and don't let them divine.
Stop asking God.
That's right.
He doesn't like us.
Ron,
God doesn't love you. He loves your purpose.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean,
So go ahead, Sean.
I'm
Oh, I was just saying, and I can learn specifically to summon, I suppose, the spells out there somewhere for me to learn that.
Oh yeah.
Correct.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Technically, the way I'll have to find the place in the rules, but it says how you get your new spells. And beginning spells, upon attaining a new level, a magic user can add one random spell to his book free of charge from his choice of spell levels he is already able to cast. So basically, every time you get a level, you get another spell, but it's at random.
Right.
And so now I believe there are magical scrolls.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I need to put into the treasure table here, well, first of all, I can promise you a spell. You know that there are spell scrolls. This is a library, after all.
Right. Yeah.
So
and somebody
not
that thing.
unreasonable. And I already know. You should know that what you're going to find here is those precious things I mentioned. There's going to be actual notes from the Persian philosopher who, in the century just before the House of Wisdom was destroyed. Wait, where are my notes? They're right here. I swear to God, I printed them. So annoying if I can't find them. There's a particular Persian philosopher whose point of view... here we are. Developed in the 12th century by Shahab al-Din Suhrawardi. And it is called Illumination, or translated as the Rising of the Sun. While the 1258 Mongol sacking of Baghdad and subsequent invasion effectively ended the Islamic Golden Age, it also paved the way for new ideas like Illuminationist philosophy. So after the Mongol invasion, the notes for some of the notes that led, the philosopher left over 50 writings in Persian and Arabic. Well, these are writings beyond those 50, like all the notes and rough drafts and stuff for those. So this is some pretty awesome shit that's here still in the House of Wisdom.
Okay.
So that's going to be worth a lot, and it's easily transported.
Could I have also taken a piece of the skin from the creature and did the big leper fall to his death? Could I have a piece of his skin too?
There are parts of critter and leper all over the upper level of this structure. So yes, and there's a character in my RuneQuest game who is also forever recovering scraps of creatures. Is this a thing that I need to understand better? Does this happen in video? Is this like killing creatures in Minecraft and they drop something? Is that why everybody's running around always collecting bits of critter?
Not for me in particular. It's just sort of thinking scientifically to a certain degree that, having where did the disease come from?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So cool. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. There is experience and stuff like that, but you don't get experience until you get back to civilization in this game. So
potentially never.
Well, yeah, except you want to use the money you made, right, to do something. You want
of course.
Yeah, I was more like hinting at my possible death.
Demise. Yes. Well,
yeah, my demise by consummation.
Well, that's why you want friends. When you get targeted by the beast, they'll stand by you, right?
Yeah. Especially this cleric guy seems to love me.
Right. Okay, so good enough, guys. So yeah.
Thank you very much, guys.